Hey everybody, welcome to Cafe Rise. This is episode 154. You got Rob Gregg here, Josh Jones, and we're here to tell you all about what's happening in the world of Infinity Rising, the game that we are building, the MMO sandbox game, the game of many niche categories. We're excited that you're here. Thank you for watching. If you've never watched the show before, please go follow, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Help support us. Let's just get right into it. We've got a fun episode ahead. We're talking about wallets. We have Infinity wallets coming soon. Some of the player-owned asset releases are coming out. Secondary marketplace update, game updates, and of course a leak and some questions. So let's just kick it off. Rob, what are you drinking?
Well, today, this is my taste.
Diet Coke. This is my taste. Nice.
What's your taste?
My taste today is a Spindrift, apple flavored. It's quite delicious. My favorite. Cheers.
While we're drinking, I had this funny little thing. I learned the meaning of a saying, and I'm like, what? Really? So the saying was "saved by the bell." Do you know where that phrase came from?
Saved by the bell phrase? No, I don't.
So our ancestors back in the early, maybe Victorian days or earlier, they were obsessed by not being buried alive. So they had little bells in their coffins. So if they woke up, they were saved by the bell. There you go. Yeah, I just thought it was quite funny.
Wow. And then they started a show called Saved by the Bell long ago that was about like high schoolers.
Whole different meaning.
Teenagers or something. Yeah. With the dark background for the story. That's great. Okay. Well, fun stuff ahead. First off, the sale update. So the operator bundle is currently live, still available, as is the founders bundle. So both are still selling, and the founders bundle sold out on Cardano, still available on base. The operators bundle still available and ongoing. So again, a reminder, great discounts on that right now that are going to go away once we launch this to mainstream. So not too far off. We're very excited about what's happening with both of these bundles, totally unique assets in each. And the fun part about that is that we have coming very soon. We're going to start releasing those, so you start to see see what you got. So we'll start releasing those one at a time over the next probably 2 months or so. Now that doesn't mean that they're available in game, but it does mean that you receive it and you see what you get in terms of which rarity, etc. So that will be exciting. That's coming very, very soon. We're scheduling out the release schedule probably tomorrow in a meeting. And so that's what's up with the sale. Please go check it out. It's on our website. Just click on the store button and you'll see what all's in there. It's probably the most value we've ever offered. Huh?
Check out episode 153 for a breakdown of what's in the operators bundle, because they're pretty good. And I'm sure we'll get some of those items out as quick as we can. Some of them are a bit more complicated.
Everything that we can release and get in the game, we will as soon as possible. So that is the intent. But it is helping us to, so for those of you maybe not aware with the stage that we're at, we're in pre-alpha right now, and we're quickly moving towards an alpha release. And for the alpha release, it's going to be kind of soft launch, semi-soft. But we're preparing marketing for the alpha release. And so this is helping us to go into the mainstream gaming segment, which we feel we're going to be ready for pretty soon. So that is a very exciting stage of our development to finally be, building a AAA quality MMO game since 2021. So for the last 5 years, well, really 4 years, because we switched to Unreal 5 in 2022. So we've been building for that long, and we're finally at the stage, and we've been live for quite a while, but we're finally at the stage where we feel we're going to have enough content for the mainstream gamers and to enter that market. And that is incredibly exciting. So now is a great opportunity to participate in those sales, very limited in terms of the number of the assets, etc., before we open the doors to the mainstream gamers. Next up, wallets. Rob, I don't know how excited you are about this, but I'm pretty pumped up. We're finally going to have Infinity wallets, which means when you create an account on our website, you come from Steam, you want to play the game, you come from Epic, you come from wherever, you create an account, you're generated a wallet automatically, seamlessly. You enter a passcode, that's what secures it, and that enables you to transact and player-owned asset trading. So the point is that you're able to participate in our sales without having to go through the legwork that some of the people have to go through to try to figure out the wallet thing. So we're making it seamless onboarding for the mainstream gamers. That was also the intent of the initial questing, deal that we did for the intro quest, which we're working on improving right now as well. We want to create an experience for the new player that is, it's seamless in terms of use of the chain and player owned assets. It's friendly in terms of when they come into our community and get welcome in to who we are and what we're doing, and it's great in terms of gameplay. We're trying to create that 5-star hotel experience with the game, and I think we're doing a great job so far. But we've got a long way to go. Wallets are coming very soon. They went to testing yesterday, and another element is being released today for further testing. But yeah, so that's wallets. And we've covered the player-owned asset releases, secondary marketplace. That's on the way. So quick announcement on that. We have agreed to Anvil is going to handle the development of being able to sell your land for Rise token. And so they're adding the Rise token to their API, which we'll be using. Everything is done for that. The UI, the back end stuff. Greg did a lot of work on that over the past 2 weeks, really wrapped it up incredibly quickly. The final remaining piece for being able to trade your land on our website in the marketplace is coming with Anvil, and they've just got the final piece. So we're just waiting on them, and I just gave them the go ahead this morning. So that's
Yeah,
going to be.
I think that's really important because obviously at the moment you can trade in any of the third party marketplaces, and really people just trade on JPEG Store. But to have the true experience, you really want to navigate via our site, because our site will have the exact, we've got our interactive maps and all kind of other stuff, and get things that we can, link directly from the game as it's all still on the blockchain, but it's now the blockchain and the game database feeding together. So you get a much more rich experience, and we'll add to that hopefully in real time or over time. So yeah, this is it's huge. It's huge.
It is huge. Well, you can imagine. So currently, there's no data associated with the JPEG that sits on JPEG Store.
Yeah, just an
The
ID.
land data. Yeah, they just have an ID because back at the time we didn't have the ability for dynamically changing the metadata over time on Cardano, which is the way that our land assets were created. So we now have the ability to pair the actual land plot that is for sale, where it is, etc., with the player-owned asset, so that you can list it with as much information as possible. Now, at some point, as we've mentioned, you don't get to keep your land if there's certain things. You don't get to keep your location. You get to keep your player-owned asset. You'll always have that. We cannot take that away from you. However, we mentioned this a while back, where there's going to be some requirements to maintaining the existing location that you have, so that we don't have somebody claiming a location, never goes into the game, they disappear, and that location is now off the map forever because they don't play anymore or whatever. Not that we're worried about that. The game's gonna be so good, nobody will do that, of course. But that's we've got to protect against that, and makes it a little more fun. It's more engaging. You can one up your property. You can move around. You can find new spots. Rob, you remember that idea? That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was yours as well. And we talked about it quite a bit before we finally made the decision to do it. But the the beauty of it for me is it gamifies, property, and how you position yourself in the game. You can look for you might be looking, hey, okay, I'm happy with this property. However, I really want to try to get something in this space. And so you get to, on the next round, you get to try to grab something and upgrade. And if you don't get it, that's fine. You don't have to move.
Yeah, I think it brings a really good element to the game. It's quite, we had lots of questions in the early days. What happens if I lose my wallet? What happens if something happens or I don't get my,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of stuff. What happens if somebody doesn't play or they don't come back or they just want to spoil things? And so we've got the answer to this now, and I think it'll work quite slick.
Yes, it will. It's very exciting. I'm incredibly pumped about getting that going because it's just to have. So you may have some properties that a location hasn't been determined and it's just the player owned asset that's for sale. But you might have some where somebody has selected a property that's for sale and they're trying to
Yep.
sell the property in the state that it's in. Very exciting stuff. That's coming soon. We're not far off. It really depends on once Anvil completes their job, we have final testing and QA to go through, and then we'll release that. That's on the. It's not tied to the game.
And in the future,
build.
we'll do part 2 of the land grab as well.
Yeah, yeah. And we're prepping. We're moving towards with Esperanza developing, etc. There should be another land sale this year. I'm hoping. It just depends on the timing of things because we definitely want to get Esperanza in you guys' hands at least before we do that.
Not a land sale of Esperanza.
Correct. No, Esperanza sold out. Yeah, that's done. Esperanza, Solace, and Fortune are sold out. So Zone 4 will be for sale possibly this year if we can get to it. And that zone actually has been selected. It's we're not going to call it Zone 4 anymore because you guys, our community, stepped up. We made a decision to empower the community to decide on what our next zone will look like. What will it be? What kind of environment is it? And so David put together some options. We presented it to you guys, our community, because we want to empower you with a voice on the direction of this game. And you guys stepped up and voted. So first of all, thank you for coming to the table and giving your vote on our direction. This is I don't know if it's a first, but it's definitely the first we've had our community give direction on what zone we would be doing and how. So thanks for participating. Rob, you want to bring up some of the options that?
Yep. So we gave 6 options. This was Aurora, snowy volcanic fields. And everybody was able to choose 3 of the 6. Then we had Aegis, verdant and rolling hills. Verdant. I'm not familiar with that word. I'm going to have to look that one up. It's pretty cool. Is that an American word?
Verdant? Maybe.
Who knows? I know vermin. Isola, tropical rainforest islands. This is a very popular one.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Nahara, South Saharan grasslands. That looks pretty cool. Very African vibe. Can you imagine lots of animals running around on there? Very dusty.
Right. So the thing with that one is, David was pretty upset that we didn't get that one voted higher, but I'm thinking about that going, David, the animal requirements for that one is pretty massive. We're going to need some serious.
The thing is, we have 12 zones eventually. So although some of these didn't make it through this bit, they could reappear again in the future.
True.
We've got Mangara, and mangrove swamps. There'll be loads of spaces to hide in there. You remember the rifts opening and all kind. And again, I can imagine all kinds of river snakes, crocodiles. Who knows? And then we have Zenith, the high Himalayas. So I went for something like this. I'd love to have the contrast between something like Esperanza, which is really hot, to somewhere like up in the mountains where it's
that's
nice
amazing.
cool.
So David put the images in these zones together, and then Matt put the design language together with our branding kit. These just look
it's concept art. We've not built these yet.
Yeah, it's concept
these
art.
are all concept arts.
Yeah, but our brand language I just absolutely love. It's grown on me. Okay.
And the winner is Isola. So Isola.
Isola was in first place. Second place is Aurora, and third place is Aegis.
Yep. So Isola, let's have a look. And there we go, the tropical rainforest.
Okay.
So based on Thailand's rainforest and the Southeast Asian
Okay. Okay.
archipelago. Very nice. That will be zone 4.
Zone 4.
We
All
will get to
right.
work on that after we've delivered Esperanza and Fortune.
Yep.
We'll get busy.
That's what's available to you in the Founders Bundle right now, as the largest size as well. So for a quick example, for any of you that didn't know how the last land sales went, but they were gone, we did it by size in 5 different sales or something like that, and they were gone within 15 to 30 seconds each time, sold out. Now that was at the peak of the market in 2022. Well, it wasn't the peak of the market, actually. Far from the peak of the
No, we were
market.
coming down.
Yeah, the market was coming down quite a bit, but the market was still, somewhat high from the previous bull cycle, but sold out incredibly quickly. Now, what is important about that is there aren't many copious properties, and those are available to you now in the Founders Bundle. And you can pretty much, so what happened last time in the last sales is everybody wanted the copious, and tons of people participated, but most people were disappointed because they couldn't get that size property. So now you basically have a guaranteed means of being able to capture the copious in Isola, if that's interesting to you. So all you have to do for that is purchase the Founders Kit. Now, it's not guaranteed because we have slightly more of the Founders Bundle than there are in Zone 4, but you have a really good chance of having a copious in Zone 4. You're guaranteed to have a copious in Zone 4, 5, or 6. Okay. Game updates. What you got for me, Rob?
Game updates. We have notes. So we're calling a code freeze at the moment. So no more new features because we're on the final stretch now. So only bug fixes are allowed. We had quite a bit of performance issues as we've said over the last few weeks to do with the apartments. So we've been doing a lot of reworking of the back end of that. So now we've resolved that, and we had one final issue that was really bad performance in the global map. And what we've done is we've now, instead of loading everything at first, which it was ambitious. We thought it may work, but yeah, there was no chance in reality because there's like over 100,000 apartments in there. So what we now do is we now have the ability to claim the apartments actually next to the apartment itself. So hopefully we'll have an indicator so you can see whether it's claimed or not. We don't know if that'll make this bill, but we are working on that. So you'll be able to go up to an apartment, and the apartment will tell you whether it's been claimed or not. And if it's not, then you are able to claim it there or then. If you either have a free apartment or one of the upgraded one, if you've got the correct credentials. And in doing that, we now have performance back in global map. And as I was testing it earlier, I was back to 120 FPS, which is just great for a AAA game like we have. So we're in final testing in the apartments. We know that and Scruffy, Renee, and the guys there, they're going through all the testing of putting the apartments together. This is definitely going to be version 1. So we're going to have a lot of feedback from the community. We're going to release this very, very early. So we do know there's going to be a lot of known issues in there.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's such a big update, we don't really want to wait another 6 months. We're going to get it out nice and early. So to set your expectations, some areas may be clunky, but when you see how much is available in there, hopefully you can appreciate it and definitely give us feedback on that. And then last week we had a watch party And we played a few games with the community, and one of the community actually, it was Pucky Hawk. Let's give a shout out to Pucky Hawk. We were playing Rumble Ball, and I think I was probably being a goalkeeper or something like that, and the ball hit me, and he said, you know, how come it only takes a single man to block a giant ball? Maybe it should have some impact. So we did that. So it only took half an hour. So we overrode the physics that are in the player at the moment. So now in Rumble Ball, if the ball hits you at speed, you will be knocked back out of the way. You know, that's thanks to playing live with the community and getting their feedback.
That's
I think
fun.
it's quite funny. I think we're overdoing it. So you get knocked back and knocked in the air. You know, gamifying it a little bit, but it definitely takes it to a different level. And it was such a quick update. So I'll look forward to people playing that. That's about it for now, I think.
Yeah, that's fun. And you said Pucky Hawk? That's definitely a one of our newer
Yes, he's one
people
of
in
the.
our
Yeah,
community.
yeah.
So it's been exciting to see all the new people joining and getting involved, and that's obviously something that we're about to. I've mentioned this before, but with Wallets coming and with the apartments build coming, we're going to start ramping up to those early access people that we have that have filled out that form, which is around 5,000 right now. So we'll start ramping up onboarding into the game, and hopefully a lot of those people will come into the community, and we'll have some fun uh,
Definitely.
in Discord. So, okay, is that the final game update?
Yeah, yeah, we're just heads down now. Like I say, just bug testing. But there's a few updates happened to the delivery game. We've been working on the delivery as it's following you. We've moved it over to the right, so you get to see the player a bit more now, and just general stuff like that. Yeah, that's definitely going to make the game. And we're doing some testing on the PvP game. Like I say, that was another last minute addition, and I think that will make the release as well. So yeah, lots and lots of stuff.
That's fun. Okay, great stuff. Well, that brings us to the questions and the leak.
Yes, we've got a. Let me ask you the first question. This is from DJ Masor. He says, if I leave my load runner unattended while mining, can someone steal it, or can I give someone the ability to use the vehicles while I'm mining to get an assembly line going?
That's a great question.
Thought about that.
Uh, so the answer, first of all, to cover the side of the player-owned asset, you you can never lose a player-owned asset, because that's the power of a player-owned asset, is that once it's in your wallet, nobody can take it away from you. So that's important for you to know. However, in the game, with the game asset, that can occur. And I'm not saying it will, but the option exists where we could allow someone to steal your load runner, and you would be temporarily inconvenienced until you went back to a terminal and a Nexus Go terminal. So I'm not saying that's going to occur, but that is a possibility. And also, to the other side of the question, loaning it to somebody else would also obviously be a possibility. If you're able to have it stolen, then it can also possibly be loaned out. Now, the time period for those would be different, because if it got stolen, I don't know, there's details that need to be talked about with all of that. So that's not a final answer by any means. I'm saying it is an option, and we will consider it for sure.
So we good. So you can loan out your load runner. So it'll be a loan runner.
Yeah.
What I want to do I want to ask David to put like a little horn on it, and when I'm driving mine, if anybody's in front of me, I want my load runner to go meep meep.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Well, yeah, I mean, hey, you know the game director, so you might be able to make a special request. Okay. Next question, I believe I have for you, and it's a big one. It's a big question. Okay.
I've
This is,
pre-read it, so you only have to go, you can go. You only need to start it. We'll put it on screen.
do I?
I've pre-read it, so you don't need to go through it all if you don't want to.
Oh, okay. This is from Bras of the Knights. I might not have been clear, but maybe this explains what I'm concerned about. Let's say level 50 woodworking unlocks mythic trees that make great IGC, but drone shooting gives 1,000. Yeah, there's a lot to this question, so we can put the text up and you can answer.
Yeah, what Braz is really saying is all to do with progression, really. And what we've shown with the perk points is as you play the game, you will get these points, and you can trade the points for different skills. And the concern is, I mean, it's quite a good concern from the community, and well, you know, this is something that we've been planning for a long time. Is that people will naturally go and try and farm what area gives you perk points. So if shooting, say in the gallery, gets you loads of perk points, then they'll go and gain them that way. But then if they can swap them for, say, the top woodworking tier, then they can become the top woodworking expert without actually doing any woodworking. So yeah, so we have actually been working on that, and actually in this next build, we were going to sneak it in, but seeing as that the community's had some good chat about this, we will tell you about this, although there's no interface. When you're playing the new delivery game, and when you're playing Rumble Ball, and when you're playing Hot Zones and Aero Trails and some others, not everything yet, they'll come over time, you will actually be earning skills for that. So as you pick up the delivery quest, you'll see a new line at the bottom that'll tell you one of the rewards is a delivery skill. And so as the more and more you play, the more and more skills you get. Like I say, there's no interface at the moment that tells you how many skills you have, but there will be in future builds. And then those skills will then unlock the harder mode or the impossible mode. So yeah, that's definitely coming, because we don't want people to earn the points in one craft or one skill and then use them on another. So that'll be a balance over time. But yeah, definitely. And then so this is a huge feature that we were going to sneak in and just kind of test under the hood. But yeah, we'll let you know it's in the next build. You'll be able to see it. But there's no interface, so you won't actually know how many delivery points, for example, you have at the moment. But,
Okay.
but that will probably follow in the following build.
It's a good question. All right. Well, that wraps up the question section, and I believe you have something you're going to show me. I get to see the leak.
Yes, you've not seen this, so I will show you this leak in real time.
We together get to see this leak.
There we go.
Ooh. See a campfire area? Or did something burn down? What's happening?
What could this be?
Is it a campfire? What is it? Oh, wreckage. Ooh. What kind of wreckage is this?
Get ready.
Okay, so what was that? Is the question.
And I can tell you, or we can leave it as a mystery.
Let's leave it as a mystery. There clearly is some loot that you can grab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'd like to tell you what it is because I'll give you some options, but that would be leaking the leak.
Could be one of those wrecked fighter jets, or it could be. Is that are you messing with me? Are you leading me astray?
No. You are correct.
Okay.
You let me know whether you want to edit this bit out or not. But this is the new what's going to be the relic quest. So within the different solaces, there's various crash sites where something has crashed with a lot of old school relics in them. I've actually sent you a list. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Send it you there. Some of the items that we're looking, and the players will go around looking for these crash sites.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to interact and get some nice items that you can just go and loot, but there'll also be some relics. So some ideas of the different relics that'll be in there, and there'll be mythics, there'll be legendaries, rares, uncommons, etc. So some of the mythics is an ancient Egypt bust. There is a Fabergé imperial egg, a 1939 Paris painting. Do you want to go through the list of some legendaries? Pick a few of your favorite legendaries.
Might as well. We can always cut it if we have to. Are you going through the list?
No, I sent it, yeah.
Oh, you sent it to me. Oh, that list. Okay, gotcha. So the relic quest, we've got a mythic Paris painting, ancient Egypt bust, traditional Japanese samurai sword, and this is.
So these are just going to be random. You don't know where they're going to be. They're going to spawn randomly in all the different.
Okay, so the mythics, and there's one of one, ultra rare. Wow. Okay. And then there's legendaries. Coca-Cola original flavor bottle, Terra headdress, 1940s military officer sword. I'm not going to do all of these. There's quite a bit in each, and then there's rares. There's about eight in each of these. Actually, no, in the mythics there's 6.
Yeah, but some obviously, you know, the
like quantity you said, of the legendary is going to be higher, right?
Yeah, and they're described as museum tier, highly desirables. So the idea is people collect these, and then they will go and sell them to the antique shop in the global map.
This is pretty cool list.
Yeah, there's Polaroid cameras. There's World War II pilot goggles for the rare. There's a brass ship compass, uncommon. There'll be an oil lantern, radio receiver.
Okay, so good stuff on here for sure. Yeah. What I do want to do is check with marketing and make sure we're not revealing too much on this and how we're announcing this, because I think we originally wanted to do some partnerships with the Relic Quest. I don't know if that still sustains for this. What build is this supposed to be for, Rob?
This next release.
Okay.
That's what the leak's about. That you've seen the crash.
That's right. Well, I didn't know that the quest was going to be ready though, but yeah.
Just wait for the
so
items.
The quest that's the quest.
Just wait on the artwork. We're good to go.
Dang, that's a good amount of items we gotta have there. Okay, well, that's a lot of fun. So these are not NFTs or POAs, correct?
No, they're in game. They're in game, and the idea is, I mean, you could collect them, but really, we want you to sell them back to the antique shop to complete the quest. But then when you've sold them back, you can go and find them again if you want.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to sell them. You could keep hold of the mythic. Who knows?
Okay.
No,
sounds fun. That's a great leak. I love it.
Put them in your apartment.
So I think that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you all for watching. As always, this has been Cafe Rise, episode 154. And again, go check out 153 if you want to learn more about the assets that are up for sale in the store, or just go to the store and check it out. And thank you, as always, for participating with us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome. You're here early, that's good. Means there's something special about you. We got a whole lot going wrong around here. You better train up. We got terrors knocking on our infrastructure, and some mighty strange occurrences going on. I'm afraid our world is at risk. Without people like you, Cornucopias might fall into darkness. Better get smart, get trained, and be ready. The storm is coming. I can feel it. I'd like to say we've been through worse, but this time I'm not so sure. Good luck out there. You're going to need every bit you can get.
Children of the multiverse, you have crossed the veil through the gate to stand with us in Cornucopias. You have my appreciation. I am but a messenger. a guide sent to show you the path that must be walked. But know this, the rifts are only the beginning. What you have seen is but a shadow of what is yet to come. The path ahead is dark, and the cost will be great. For the dangers you face are not born of this world alone, but from beyond it. Some of you will fight the tide, others will build and restore, some will weave knowledge, while others will sustain through trade and creation. Strength, will, and unity, these are the bonds that will endure when all else is broken. Rise now, stand against the tide, for infinity does not end, it begins. Infinity is rising.